Getting a cancer diagnosis at that age, you don't really know what it is. You're just kind of confused in the beginning. Getting a cancer diagnosis at that age, you don't really know what it is. You're just kind of confused in the beginning.
You see a healthy child who's active and loves to play and run, and one day you just have the rug pulled from under your feet.
You know, no one wants to think about their children not being here.
I mean, everyone feels the pain, the isolation.
It was hard.
Cameron always said he wanted to be as proactive as possible and do whatever he could to fight this thing.
He was probably one of the strongest people I've ever seen.
And he said, "Lane, you're my brother. You're gonna stay here with me." The treatment that brought us to this day, it changed us for the better.
Getting a cancer diagnosis at that age, you don't really know what it is. You're just kind of confused in the beginning.
You see a healthy child who's active and loves to play and run, and one day you just have the rug pulled from under your feet.
You know, no one wants to think about their children not being here.
I mean, everyone feels the pain, the isolation.
It was hard.
Cameron always said he wanted to be as proactive as possible and do whatever he could to fight this thing.
He was probably one of the strongest people I've ever seen.
And he said, Lane, you're my brother. You're gonna stay here with me. The treatment that brought us to this day, it changed just for the better.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, I'm so blessed and I'm so happy to welcome you. I'm Melissa Wilson from Fox 26, and what a magical, fun night this is going to be. We are here to celebrate and to raise very crucial funds for one of my favorite organizations, and that is the Candlelighters. So welcome to Lights of Courage.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenna Jackson, clearly not a television anchor, but I am Vice President of the Candlelighters Board, and I'm so happy to be here with Melissa tonight.
Well, I tell you what, it's definitely different not being in my home studio, which is where I usually am, welcoming you to Houston Morning News, and it's so nice to be here tonight. We have an incredible night lined up for you. This organization is very near and dear to my heart because my little boy suffered from cancer when he was only 6 years old, and I tell you what, it's one of those things where you never think that you are going to need an organization to help you, but the Candlelighters made such a difference in my family's life, and so it's just an honor to be here trying to make a difference for this amazing organization. Right now, I would love for you to hear from our event chairs, Beth Gwynn and Danielle Ryan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth Gwynn, and I'm so excited to be chairing Candlelighters Lights of Courage event for the second year in a row. Typically, we'd be at Gross Country Club, sipping on champagne,
Am I done?
and browsing all of the wonderful
Am I done yet, Anthony?
and looking at raffle items. But this is not
So, Jenna, you're going to do that section there, and we'll go to the table.
rolling with it.
So make sure you're on page back and forth on
Yep.
this one, because we're going
First things
to.
first, grab yourself
Okay,
a
so
second.
it'll just be a little bit shorter, yeah.
We need to get you
'Cause we
moved in.
did the-
We thought it'd be kind of awkward to keep her sitting there so long, so.
And you can even send us your photos so that we can share them on the live stream tonight. We want to know you're here with us. So open your text bubble. We're going to send a text to the number 832-621-3300. Let me say it one more time. 832-621-3300. We're going to send the word candle, C-A-N-D-L-E. Uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. Just needs to be the word candle, C-A-N-D-L-E. Once you hit send, you will receive a reply that says, thanks for joining Candlelighters, and you're looped in. Thanks again for bearing with us during this crazy time. Being part of this event has opened my eyes to what childhood cancer families face from diagnosis through treatment and beyond. Seeing how Candlelighters is able to support these families every step of the way through hospital parking assistance, emotional support, and fun events for families in order to make great memories together is really what's given me the desire to continue to help raise the much needed funds for this organization.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Ryan, and I'm honored to be chairing this event alongside Beth. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to hear from our special guest, New York Times bestselling author and the voice behind the popular Big Mama blog, Melanie Schenkel. You will also see some powerful stories from our amazing Candlelighters Lights of Courage honorees and their families. We know each of you will be moved by these courageous children and young adults, as their stories are so touching.
Before we turn it back over to our wonderful hostesses, I want to encourage everyone to check out the online raffle. You can purchase tickets to win amazing trips. We have Hawaii, we have Mexico, we have Costa Rica, but you have to get online to purchase tickets. You have until 7:30 tonight, so don't miss out. If you have not received the text message with the raffle link, I'm going to give it to you now. go.rallyup.com/CandleLOC. Let me say it one more time. Go.rallyup.com/CandleLOC2020. candlelighters.com/CandleLOC. Thanks again for tuning in and taking time to learn about all the work that Candlelighters does and to celebrate these awesome childhood cancer heroes. Enjoy the program. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, ladies, for all the hard work I know you put in. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for tuning in from home or wherever you are. We are here safely together, apart, more than 6 feet, at the home of Stephanie and Mark DeVerka, wonderful friends of mine. Stephanie also serves on the Candlelighters Board of Directors and has graciously offered their beautiful home for our virtual event this evening. So thank you, Stephanie. We know a few of our other sponsors and table hosts are safely hosting guests tonight. If you're having a viewing party, we want to see and hear from you. Please reply to your text from Candlelighters with your watch party pictures. If you haven't had a chance to text yet, send CANDLE to 832-621-3300. That's 832-621-3300, and you may or may not see yourself live throughout tonight's program. Lisa O'Leary, Linda Evans, Jay Beasley, Carrie Pislak, Lisa McCoy, Sarah Smecko, we're talking to you. Send us photos. We also need to give a quick shout out to Silverstone Catering, who helped us provide appetizers to our sponsors for this evening. We hope everyone is enjoying the delicious light bites. I know we are. Thank you.
Are we ever? They are so delish. And we also want to say, you know what? You got to check out the raffle. Have you seen the items? It's incredible. A little bit of something for everyone. So whether you feel comfortable traveling near or far, we have got you covered. And what a bargain you're going to get if you get one of these packages, and your chances are good. So I want to encourage you to go on and let's get this going. It's going to be open until 7:30, so you have, what, about 25 minutes to do that, so not very long. Hopefully you have another device nearby so you can watch us simultaneously and hop on. So here's the address. Are you ready? You need to go to go.rallyup.com/CandleLOC. LOC is in Lights of Courage. I encourage you to go there. You want to get those tickets, again, until 7:30 tonight.
New this year, you can purchase tickets to win super raffle packages and packages in our general raffle. Remember that non-winning super raffle tickets get put back into the pile, so you get a second chance at winning a general raffle item. As always, we will be announcing the raffle winners tonight toward the end of the program. Every year, the highlight of our Lights of Courage event is honoring young people who have exemplified courage to their community and who represent the thousands of children who have fought and are currently battling childhood cancer. Typically, we invite these families to our luncheon where they accept their award, but this year we have had to do something a little different, but we think you'll really enjoy it. You get to hear directly from these honorees. Our amazing video team from P&R Productions beautifully captured a more in-depth look at each one of our honorees. Let's take a look at our first honoree.
My name is Zoanne Dreyer, and I'm a pediatric oncologist at Texas Children's Cancer Center. It's my honor tonight to introduce you to the 2020 Lights of Courage on Treatment honoree for this year. Cash Cannon was an overly active, fun-filled 3-year-old. His evenings and weekends jam-packed with all activities: soccer, t-ball, mixed martial arts, music lessons, swimming, golf balls at the driving range, and frequent visits to the zoos and jump houses. Bruises showed up inevitably with an active schedule like this, and at first his parents were not too concerned. But ultimately, as these bruises continued to increase, his family became worried and he was taken to his pediatrician. After the second visit and blood work and a chest x-ray, Cash's mother received a call to go straight to the emergency room at Texas Children's Hospital. At that time, he was diagnosed with T-cell ALL. Faced with countless doctor visits, chemotherapy treatments, surgical procedures, infections, and hospital stays, Cash's family was trying to fully accept and understand what a diagnosis of childhood cancer even meant. The entire family felt that remaining strong for Cash, despite their own emotions and fears, was what they really needed to do. Candlelighters' parents' consultants were with Cash's family nearly every step of the way, providing hope and positive perspectives. Candlelighters knew the family's love for the sports world would be an ideal fit for Cash to get a chance to meet with Texans safety Justin Reed, a phenomenal player who paid him a visit in the hospital and then invited Cash and his entire family to be his personal guests at a Texans game. Although the journey has been a challenge, Cash has been a superhero through it all. At his level of understanding, it's really quite well beyond his years, and he was quickly able to adjust to a normal life again. Despite it all, he never complains. He still flashes that infectious smile. He has taught his family what true strength is in the face of adversity and has exemplified the level of resiliency beyond measure. Get ready, world, because here comes Cash Christopher Cannon. It's the Candlelighters' honor to present the 2020 Childhood Cancer On Treatment Award to Cash Cannon.
So this is Cash, I'm Chad, my wife's name is Mona. We have two other daughters, Paige, she's 14, and our oldest daughter, Taylor, she's now 22, and Cash is 4. It's a bit of a gap and somewhat of a challenge in the house, but it is what it is, yeah. Cash participates in soccer, he participates in baseball, swimming. During baseball, he had what appeared to me to be mosquito bites. The spots were getting worse and they were in different areas of his body. His mom called the doctor. She went to go visit the pediatrician. I just heard the tone in her voice and I knew it was something serious. And then she said they think that he has cancer. You know, you see a healthy child who's active and loves to play and run, and one day you just have the rug pulled from under your feet and you're like, you know, what are we gonna do now? He needed to go to ICU. He had to receive treatment immediately. And so it was a whirlwind day, and pretty much from there, it started the treatment. You know, I had to get myself together, and then we had an infection. Now they have to access him through placing, you know, needles into his arm through his vein. Every day he's having to be basically stuck multiple times.
And it keeps hurting me, and I keep crying and screaming.
Yeah.
Finger pokes and crickets.
When you're brave, they give you a toy after you get your procedure?
Yeah, but they just don't have any Hot Wheels toys.
Oh, no Hot Wheels toys, okay. You know, what do? He's 4 years old, and every day he's traumatized. Every time someone comes in the room, looking back, it was a lot. There's so many emotions you're going through when you find out your child has been diagnosed. And when Candlelighters came by and they visit us, they've kind of just given us that support and guidance. Something as simple as parking at Texas Children's every day. The fees they're there to help you with that. Making sure Cash is comfortable, give you words of encouragement, give you reading material that can help you, giving you a hug to say, hey, it's gonna be all right. They genuinely wanna know how Cash is doing. They know him by name, they know his personality. Most of the representatives, they either knew someone or their own family member has gone through this process, their own children. You would rather go through something like this with someone who's experienced it before. Here we are now. They're very confident that the cancer is gone, and now we've made it through all of the severe treatments. It's good to see him like this. Yeah. So I would say continue giving the support that you give. Know that it's for a good cause. Know that it's very beneficial to parents like myself as well as to other parents. We've utilized them the entire time that we've been through the process, and I'm sure that once everything is done, we'll probably have some type of role with Candlelighters as well. So how do you feel?
Good.
You feel good?
But I'm a little tired and I'm a little hot.
Okay.
And I'm a little hungry.
Okay. I'm just thankful that we got time back. And I won't take it for granted. Am I a big boy?
Mm-hmm.
Lynn, your hair looks so good. I know I said that earlier. I meant to get a blowout for this, but.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to see Cash finished with treatment, and I know that feeling because I remember the day my own son finished his treatment. As I mentioned earlier, I am a cancer mom myself. In 2013, I'll never forget the day, Friday the 13th, my son was diagnosed, unfortunately, with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it was a shock. And I had certainly done stories on Candlelighters, and I had heard about them, and I knew they did great things. But until they actually sent a Candlelighters parent consultant into our hospital room, did I truly get what this organization meant, what they did, how it made such a difference in someone's life. So they paired a mom, this beautiful mom who had been through the same thing I was about to go through. She came into the hospital room, she showed me pictures of her daughter, she showed me what the other side of cancer looked like. I couldn't believe that there could be that much hope. And at that time, it's such a dark hour, you don't feel any hope. But you have someone saying, this is what you're going to go through, and it's going to be tough. And this is not going to be a sprint, it's going to be a marathon. And she taught us that we would get through it, and just thinking back, it brings back so many emotions. But Candlelighters is something that helped me so much and my family so much, because as an anchor, I was always the one who would MC events, and I never thought that my family would actually need an organization to sweep us up and to make a difference in our lives. And they were taking us to Texans games, and we were in the tunnel, and we were high-fiving Texans players before the pandemic. And we were going to Astros games, and we were doing normal things, and to see my child who would go straight from the hospital and be vomiting from his chemo and so sick from his steroids, but to be cheering on the Astros with this amazing team, they brought us normalcy, and it was so beautiful. And then to see my child who could barely get out of bed, but went to Camp Cliff with my family, and he's climbing rock walls, and he's living normal and doing normal kid things because of Candlelighters. That's what this organization does. It is truly remarkable. So it's the true greatest gift that Candlelighters does, is bring normalcy when things don't feel normal at all. So I want to tell you also, they're doing everything they can to help families during the pandemic, which is amazing. In fact, I got to hop on an amazing Zoom that they did all summer long. They had a series for kids, and the whole Zoom room would be full of 50 kids, and they would get to see stars like Texans Justin Reed. It was really special. I'm so glad to see that a pandemic is not stopping Candlelighters. Even though they don't get to go into the hospitals like they are, they're really still making a difference in kids' lives.
You brought up a really good point, Melissa. I have been so impressed with the team at Candlelighters and how they've just pivoted and continued their work and continued connecting and giving support to these families, even during a global pandemic. Since late March, our Candlelighters parent consultants, who are all moms who have had children that battled cancer, so they know exactly what families are going through, they are usually at Texas Children's and MD Anderson. Since the pandemic began, those hospitals obviously have enforced very strict gathering protocols, so they have been supporting these families virtually. Throughout the summer, they've held super fun video calls, engaging the kids and their siblings, logging on from hospitals and from their home, just like we're doing now, and just like the call you described with Justin Reed. Candlelighters was able to engage local celebrities from the Texans, Dynamo, Astros, a NASA astronaut, and even Elsa and Anna from Frozen. They hosted music classes, a magician, cooking classes, and so much more. They've really been creative and amazing. I heard, I'm not sure I was invited to, but I heard they even hosted a parents-only happy hour that was sponsored by Tito's Vodka, so I'm hoping I get the invite for the next one.
It sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Well, as you mentioned, I know that MD Anderson and Texas Children's are both really missing those parent consultants, the ones that I was telling you about that get to come into that hospital room. But they're still making a huge difference. And someone near and dear to my heart, my son's oncologist, is a big part of all of this at Texas Children's Cancer Center, and also serves on the board of Texas Children's and Candlelighters. So let's check in right now and hear from Dr. Zoanne Dreyer.
My name is Zoanne Dreyer, and I'm a pediatric oncologist at Texas Children's Cancer Center. I have been associated with the Candlelighters Foundation for so many years, I can't even tell you. I've watched this organization grow over the years as the support has grown and grown for our families in need. This year, this COVID pandemic has impacted so many of us. But you know what it hasn't impacted? Candlelighters. Candlelighters is still there. Their parent consultants are still there on the phone, on Zoom calls, offering support, not in person, but they're there to provide that love and that knowledge and that inspiration to these families to get through this. I don't know what we would do without our parent consultants. I miss them dearly in clinic. I walk through clinic and see that empty desk, and it makes me sad each day, but I know pretty soon they'll be back. But I also can't thank you, Candlelighters Foundation, for all the things you've done, despite all these ridiculous COVID challenges, to do the best things you can for our families, including parking and food coupons and all the financial things you do for them, as well, most importantly, the support for their hearts and their families.
In addition to all the emotional support we've been talking about tonight, Candlelighters also does a lot of practical support. So we're talking about helping with parking, which can be so expensive. They can give gift cards to help make a difference. They can do everything from grocery store gift cards to meal passes, even funeral assistance. Unfortunately, when that is needed, they try to make sure all bases are covered for these families. They also organize a special holiday gift giving program, and that makes the holiday so special for these children. Sometimes families get very financially strained when they're trying to pay for all of those treatments, but they want to make sure that the holidays are magical for these kiddos. So they take that financial burden off so families can take time to think about the holidays and their families and not how they're going to make sure that they get those gifts under the tree. So I'm proud to reiterate what Dr. Dreyer said, and that is that Candlelighters has done such an amazing job to be able to pull off services for these cancer families during the difficult time of a pandemic. Candlelighters has done everything they can to figure out what they can do for families right now and how to provide them even from afar. One of my all-time favorite events is family camp, and I'm talking about Camp Cliff. And families, if you've been there, you know that there's nothing probably much more fun than that. It's as good as it gets. So Candlelighters just hosted their very first, and I really hope it's the last virtual camp, but did they ever do it right? So we're talking about packing hundreds of camp boxes all up with all kinds of goodies to make sure families could be at camp, so to speak, in the comforts of their home. But they got this time, like so many of us have been doing, to get online, but to connect with other people, to connect with families who have been going through the same things that they were going to, for children to see each other and realize that they can make friends with children who are going through cancer treatment. And they really took that time to be able to still celebrate and to be a part of Camp Cliff. And I'm so glad they were able to pull it off. I've seen some of the photos, and it looked like it was oh so much fun.
It did look really fun, Melissa. I have been to camp as a volunteer for many years. We've gotten to meet a lot of these kids and see how much fun they have there, and I was super sad to hear it had to be canceled. But the virtual camp looked amazing, and I'm so proud of how creative the Candlelighters team has been and everything they've been able to accomplish for these children and their families this year. 2020 marks Candlelighters' 27th year serving Houston's childhood cancer community. Tonight you'll hear from a Candlelighters mom, Megan Proby, about all of the amazing ways Candlelighters has supported her family through her daughter's cancer journey. She will inspire you, and she will also ask that you make 100% tax-deductible donation to Candlelighters. As a Candlelighters board member, I'm very excited to tell you that we will be matching these donations dollar for dollar up to $27,000 in honor of the 27th year of Candlelighters. Stake 48 has also partnered with us. Very cool place if you haven't been there. If you make a donation of $1,000 or more, you'll be entered to win a dinner for 6, courtesy of Stake 48. You can make a donation now. Go to give.candle.org/luncheon, or you can wait until later in the program. We can't wait to hear from Megan.
That is incredible, Jenna. How generous of you and the entire Candlelighters board. Did you hear that, everyone? They are going to be doubling our donations. I cannot wait to see what we end up raising tonight. I know it's going to be a big, beautiful number. Let's listen into our second honoree.
Harris, Jackson. I am the Center Medical Director at the Children's Cancer Hospital at MD Anderson Cancer Center, and I'm just thrilled to be with you tonight to present the 2020 Lights of Courage Loving Memory honoree Cameron Gooch. And this is a personally very meaningful speech to be given because I knew this young man, and I'm just thrilled to honor his memory today. So first, I just want to say that Cameron Gooch loved baseball. Baseball was interwoven with his entire life story, which included his cancer diagnosis, his treatment, his fight, and throughout all of it, baseball brought him true joy through his journey. Cameron's journey with childhood cancer began at the age of 8 on the Little League field, when Cameron's parents noticed his running looking a little stiff. After a trip to the emergency room, Cameron was diagnosed with embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma, a relatively rare cancer of the soft tissue. The Houston Astros were Cameron's hope throughout his entire cancer journey. This included chemotherapy, surgery, and proton beam radiation therapy. After an introduction with Candlelighters, the Houston Astros Foundation made Cameron's dream come true. He became a real Houston Astro. Unfortunately, the family faced bad news for the second time when Cameron's cancer spread to his lungs and brain. Candlelighters continued to walk alongside Cameron and his family, including his brave and amazing, kind-hearted little sister, Audrey, who provided the much-needed practical and emotional support for each member of the family. The Houston Astros and Candlelighters saw Cameron and his family as people, as neighbors, as friends, much more than just his cancer. Unfortunately, Cameron lost his battle with childhood cancer in November of 2018, but he remains an integral part of both Candlelighters and the Houston Astros organization. Cameron would be so proud to know that his story has made an impact on all of you and is helping to make a difference for his childhood cancer friends. Cameron would say thank you to the Candlelighters for being there for him, his parents, and his little sister, Audrey. He would have a very special thank you for Candlelighters parent consultant, Miss Linda Pena, for being his friend, and who would want to remind all of you that no matter what you are facing, please, please choose joy. It is with great respect that I present the 2020 Lights of Courage and Loving Memory Award to the family of Cameron Gooch.
You know, I think Cameron left a legacy of putting others before himself, a legacy of kindness.
His big quote was, "We're just going to make the best of it."
A true all-star. I mean, you could see it in his face.
He was always, positive.
It was kind of contagious.
I think that's helped me be a better man in my life.
I'm Emmy Gooch. I'm married to Aaron Gooch, and we have 2 children, Cameron and Audrey.
Cameron was always a pretty calm kid, easygoing. A lot of people said he had kind of an old soul, loved baseball. He was really good at it as well.
He fell in love at the age of 4 and never looked back.
The more he loved it, the more I loved it.
It honestly made Daddy happy too, because it was something that they shared. So he had a fall tryout the year that he was in 2nd grade, and we just noticed that his running was a little off.
He was having some pains in his leg and in his stomach.
But then just over the course of the next couple of weeks, it just got worse and worse. Then there was a weekend that we went to the ER a couple of times. They sent us for a scan. You just know when a doctor comes in and says, "Hey Cameron, can I talk to your mommy privately?" or anything to separate me from my child and have this grown-up conversation. I knew it couldn't be good. That's when they saw that there was a tumor in his abdomen, kind of a rare pediatric cancer.
It's all kind of a blur because it hits you pretty hard, a gut punch that, your son's probably not going to be here in the future.
We found out about Candlelighters the very first day we were in the hospital.
They came by the room and spoke with us and let us know if they were there for us, and that's always the best thing you can hear, is knowing that there's an organization there to help you out and help you with the unknown of what you're about to go through.
All of those people were so tremendous to all of the kids and just made us all feel so welcomed and accepted, and gave the kids some fun, which was really important.
So Candlelighters was the ones that helped us meet the Astros, and they have an event every year where they take all the kids to the game, and the kids get to meet the players.
The kids were together and they got to tour and they got to enjoy the game together. I remember we were waiting for this special guest. There was this hubbub about, we need to wait right here at the elevator, someone special is coming down, and then out walks Twyla Carter.
And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, here's this child who's so brave and so strong, just willing to just go, like he just goes with me like, okay, I'm good.
She just took such good care of him and saw what a light baseball was for him and how much joy it brought to him.
He became a special mission for me, he really did.
Cameron was able to become an Astro for a day through the Astros Foundation.
August 17th, 2017, and
it just happened to be the year 2017, also his favorite baseball number, 17.
The whole family was picked up in a limo and whisked off to Minute Maid Park. He signed his contract and got his jersey.
They made him part of the team that year. He had all access.
She would joke that he was her +1 always, so they became really tight.
He was born an all-star, and I got to be his agent.
It was really special.
He was about to start 3rd grade. Things were looking good. Right before school started, we went for his end of treatment scans just to get the all clear and make sure he was good, and that's when we found it was now not only in his abdomen, in his lungs, but it had also spread to his brain. Cameron always said he wanted to be as proactive as possible and do whatever he could to fight this thing. And I'm telling you, up until kind of the last hours of his life, he really lived it to the fullest. I cannot imagine what it would be like to try to go through something like this without an organized support system like Candlelighters.
Without them, this whole journey would have been totally different, and now we have memories to look back on that'll always be there.
These families become, when they say Candlelighter families, that's what they mean.
I can't even express to you how good it felt to have people who know what you're going through. No one wants to think about their children not being here. But if that had to be in our story, the way it happened was perfect and beautiful and exactly what he deserved.
Stories have been so touching tonight. I can't wait to hear the final 2, and those are coming up in just a little while. Before we get to that, we have a special speaker that I can't wait to introduce you to, but we first have to say a huge shout out to Beth Gwen. We just got an incredible donation from her. Wow. I wish you could have heard the cheering and the clapping and the screaming and the goosebumps that we got when we saw that come in. So thank you for the generosity. It's really incredible. In fact, can you hear the officers are just turned on their sirens for you in celebration?
The dogs are howling.
And the dogs are fired up about it too. So we're all in this together with you, Beth. Can you hear it? This is for you. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. And wow, do we have a humdinger for you. I'm talking about the lady of the hour, who is an author, a blogger, and podcast host, Melanie Shankle. Melanie is a New York Times best-selling author of Sparkly Green Earrings, also Nobody's Cuter Than You, and Church of the Small Things. Melanie speaks at events nationwide, and on her blog, she's known as Big Mama. How about that? She's a class of 1993 graduate of Texas A&M. Woo! She lives in San Antonio with her husband Perry and daughter Caroline. In her spare time, she enjoys online shopping, laughing at things often inappropriate, and spending time with her family and friends. Her newest book, On the Bright Side, was released on February 25th of this year, along with her first children's picture book entitled Piper and Mabel, Two Very Wild But Very Good Dogs. I gotta get a hold of that one. Let's hear from her now. You're going to enjoy.
Hi, Hi, I'm Melanie Schenkel, and I am so happy to be here with y'all. I'm so excited to be a part of Candlelighters in even this small way, and I know we had really hoped we were going to all be together in April, and then it turns out none of us were all together in April because we were all just trapped inside our homes. And now we're here in November, but we're together in this way, and I'm so thankful for technology, and I'm so happy to be a part of this event, because when I first was approached about Candlelighters and I began to read what their mission is, and just to see the way that they support families and come alongside people who ultimately, let's be honest, are facing one of the hardest, toughest moments of their whole life, to see the way that they rally and become a community and support each other, to me is just the most important thing that we can do as humans, is to be there for each other. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. Just the importance of community and the importance of friendship and what that really means. Years ago, one of my best friends, I call her Gully, that was her maiden name, but she's married and she has 2 teenage boys, and she called me a few years ago and she was really sick. She was like, I have the flu, I feel terrible. She's like, I can't get out of bed. And I was like, can I bring you something? Do you need anything? And she was like, no, I'm fine. It'll all be okay. And so I was like, okay. And then she called me 2 days later and she said, I'm going to tell you something, the worst thing has happened. And I said, what? And she said, now my husband and my boys have the same flu that I had. She said, and I had it and was still washing football pants and going to the grocery store and making sure everybody had dinner. She said, those fools are all in bed like they aren't going to make it to tomorrow. And she said, and you don't want to know what the worst part is? And I said, what? And she said, I was watching the Today Show this morning and they had this story on about 2 monkeys, and one of the monkeys felt bad and the other little monkey friend was like rubbing the monkey friend's back to try to make him feel better. She said, and in that moment, I thought, nobody in my house even has the compassion or the sensitivity of a monkey. And we laughed, but we said, this is why you need friends, because you need somebody who's going to show up with soup when the people in your house sometimes don't even know to just rub your back and make you feel better, because they don't have the sensitivity of a monkey. And there was actually a study done by the head of psychiatry at Stanford University several years ago, and the lecture was about the mind-body connection and the relationship between stress and disease. And one of the things that they concluded was one of the best things as humans that we can do for our health is to nurture our friendships with other people, because we connect with each other and we provide support systems that help us deal with stress. And he said ultimately that the failure to create and maintain quality personal relationships can be as detrimental to our health as smoking. Because all of a sudden, when we begin to walk in community with somebody else and we have somebody alongside us to encourage us, and we provide support and we ease each other's stress and we don't feel as alone, and it actually causes our body to produce serotonin that says it's going to be okay. And that's how important those friendships are. And I think if 2020 has taught us nothing else, as we've had to spend so much time isolated and away from people in a normal way, is how much we need those people in our lives. How much we were made for real community and real relationships and face-to-face interaction, and knowing that people are there with us. Because what happens is one day we're doing fine, and then the next day we find ourselves in this weird, strange land. And I think that's what happens with a cancer diagnosis, and what so many of you have walked through, is that you wake up in this strange land with no roadmap. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how to get home. You don't even know how you got here. And all of a sudden you realize, I need somebody to walk this with me. I can't handle this. This is too much for me to handle alone. And that's why the older I get and the more life I live, I realize that it's our friendships that matter the most. Our friends remind us of who we were before we were wives, before we were fathers, before we were mothers. They take us back to the people that we are and what matters to us and where we need to be encouraged and where we need to be challenged. And I think the most important thing we can continue to pass on to the community, to the generation coming up behind us, is the value of real relationships. That we were never meant to have these shallow interactions of liking people's posts on beautifully filtered Instagram that are no indication of what's really going on in somebody's life, but to go deep and to be vulnerable and to have people who will listen to our stories and be there for us as we go through heartbreak and joy and try to figure out all the curves that life throws our way. We need loyal soldiers who will defend us and stand with us when the world around us gets so tough. Because it increasingly seems that we're creating this generation with a tendency to substitute the joy of real friendship with cheap imitations. I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, life is not about how many Instagram likes you get. It's about your real people. It's about the people that can look at you and know, are you okay? And know that you're not even when you say you are. It's people who will show up with Kleenex and casseroles and drive carpool and help you shop for the perfect dress. You need all those things in your life to know that, you know what, hard times are going to come, but you are not going to walk through them alone. And we need to have those people in our life. And more importantly, we need to be those people in other people's lives. And so I wanted to talk today just 4 quick things about real community and real friendship and what that means. The first is that people don't come into our life by accident. There are no coincidences to me. Some of you have walked a long road with cancer and some of you are just starting out. And it's times like this that I think we really find out who's going to be there for us in the hard times. Who's going to help us through this? Who's going to cry with us? Who's going to laugh with us? Who's going to pray with us? And I believe that God very intentionally brings people into our lives when He knows that they are the very people that we're going to need to walk through this road. When we need somebody to challenge us and encourage us, to lift us up when we're discouraged, to listen to us rant when we're angry and mad and frustrated, and say, you know what, it's okay to feel all those things. And I am here and I'm not going anywhere. The second thing is to freely offer what we have to give. To me, true friends give of themselves, their time, their talents, their possessions, whatever they have, whatever I have that I can give to help you walk this road and make it a little less painful or a little more bearable. That's what I want to do. I think that's what the early church looked like. And we see that so much where, can you cook a meal? Can you drive a carpool? Can you sit through chemo treatments? What can you do? 5 years ago, I lost one of my very dearest friends to breast cancer. And as I watched her walk that hard road, knowing what the end was going to be, to me, the thing that stood out was the way her community rallied around her. The way all of us, it was like a fight for who could do the most for her, who could watch her child, who could help her find a wig, who could help her curl her wig, all of those things that you just can't even believe are a part of your life. But that's when you need your people to draw close and to be there. And it said so much about who she was to see the way that people wanted to rally around her. And I think it's that lifelong principle of to have a good friend, you've got to be a good friend. And she had been such a good friend. And so you watched where she just had people who were falling all over themselves to take care of her and to support her. The third thing is to never underestimate the importance of loyalty. We need friends who are loyal to us, who will cheer us on, because the world is so full of critics. All you have to do is look at the comment thread on any social media post that are going to tell you how dumb you are, how you're doing it wrong, or how you're not smart enough, or this is bizarre, or you're never going to get through this. We need those people who will encourage us in those dark nights of the soul, when we just don't know how we're going to find our way, and we question whether or not we are even up to the challenge at hand, when we want to throw in the towel. And they'll sit and they'll look at us, and in the words of Taylor Swift, they'll say, haters gonna hate, hate, hate. And maybe it'll be more eloquent than that. But that's the gist. We need our friends to give us courage to go on and face our challenges. There's a great quote from Wizard of Oz that says, there is no living thing that is not afraid when it faces danger. The true courage is in facing danger when you are afraid. And that kind of courage you have in plenty. We need friends who will remind us, yes, you are afraid, and yes, this feels scary, but you are not alone, and you are facing it, and that is the bravest thing of all. The fourth thing and the final thing is that true friends are with you in good times and bad. They are your heart, they are your brains, they are your courage. They will thank for you when you can't think anymore. They will love for you when you feel like you can't love anymore. They'll fight for you when you feel like your fight is gone, because beyond common interest and affection and sense of humor and all those intangible things that make friends friends, to me, the aim of friendship, the aim of community, is to sow into each other words of affirmation and life and blessing, to refresh each other's spirit, to hold each other up, to strengthen each other as we go through life, because any friendship is going to mean walking down some really hard roads with each other. There are going to be hard losses and bad diagnosis. There's going to be financial problems. But our friends are what make us brave, and they're the very beat of our heart. And to me, ultimately, what we're given in friendship is just this everyday miracle that God gives us in the form of another person, where you'll look back and go, I don't know how I could have done this without you. I don't know how I could have walked this road without you being there for me. But having your soul knit to another isn't for the faint of heart, because it means that you're going to bear your own hurts along with the hurts of your friend. It means you're going to cry when they cry, and you're going to laugh when they laugh. You're going to have to come up with elaborate plots to kill someone who hurts them, which that's just a joke, but that's sometimes what makes you feel better. But you love harder, and you laugh louder, and you live richer, and you become more together than you could ever be by yourself. The people in our lives that walk that out with us are the ones that make life worth living, because they're the ones that'll hold our hands as we confess that our heart is breaking, our marriage is struggling, our oldest kid is failing math, we don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. They cry with us when we lose a parent, hear a bad diagnosis, or have a day when we can't get out of bed. They'll cheer us on when we finish a last round of chemo, when we walk down the aisle toward a man that we prayed for, we watch our babies graduate from high school, and we finally either fit back into our skinny jeans or just make the bold decision to throw them away, because that's just not going to happen anymore. They are the ones who make friends seem like it's not a strong enough word to describe what is the very beat of our heart, because depending on the day, you are each other's mother, sister, father, brother, therapist, stylist, chauffeur, decorator, cheerleader, or therapist. And to borrow a quote from Stephen Schwartz from the musical Wicked, we will know that whatever way our stories end, they have rewritten ours by being our friend. Or, in the equally eloquent words of Groucho Marx, a real friend will bail you out of jail. A best friend is in the cell next to you saying, "Damn, that was a lot of fun." Candlelighters, thank you so much for having me with you today. It was my honor. I pray that you continue to walk this road with joy and with courage and with conviction and with strength. And I will be there with you every step of the way. I'm just so happy to be a part of this today. I thank you for the way you support each other. I thank you for the way that you model what community means.
What an amazing message from Melanie. We cannot thank you enough for being with us this year, Melanie, rearranging your schedule, letting our film crew into your home, invade your home, I know exactly how that goes, to get this message to us, and generously donating your time, talent, and wisdom. Thank you so much. And speaking of thank yous, we just heard that Mark and Stephanie DeVerca, my wonderful friends and our gracious hosts, just made another huge donation to Candlelighters, Shining Opportunities. Thank you. Come on, keep those donations coming. Woo! All right, now let's hear from tonight's third honoree.
Good evening. My name is Zoanne Dreyer, and I'm a pediatric oncologist at Texas Children's Cancer Center. It's my honor tonight to present to you the 2020 Lights of Courage Childhood Cancer Sibling Honoree Award. On August 8th in 2015, the Rex family's lives came to a halt. A helicopter flight from Corpus Christi to Houston changed everything. It was that day that Kim and Jason Rex heard those words, "Your child has cancer." Their youngest son, Lane, was diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The family never returned to Corpus Christi. They sold their home. They relocated their lives to Houston for Lane's treatment at Texas Children's Hospital. Landon, Lane's older sibling, also had to leave his home, his school, his friends, his entire life, all taken from him to move to Houston to be with his little brother. While his dad was working and his mom was spending countless hours at the hospital, Landon was shuffled from home to home, staying with friends and family, all the while knowing his baby brother was fighting for his life. His parents watched as Landon struggled. Siblings often feel left out and forgotten as the focus of the entire family is on the child with cancer. Slowly, his parents watched as life came back to Landon's eyes. The pain left, and in its place, an immense compassion for his brother became obvious. Landon was there through it all. He played with Lane through agonizing pain. He rubbed his back through the nausea. He held his hand for every single poke. He watched movies and played games and tried to keep his brother's spirits up. It was Landon who cried with Lane when his best friend died of cancer. It was Landon standing with him when he rang that bell at the end of treatment with his whole heart, the greatest brother and the greatest friend. Landon fought with and for Lane throughout his entire treatment, a total of 3.5 years, 1,217 days. It was during these long days that the Candlelighters were there to provide the knowledge found only from an experience for the entire Rex family, support that includes siblings in every activity, in every gift, and in every relationship. This August made 5 years from the time of his diagnosis. Over the last 5 years, Landon has exemplified unmatched empathy, compassion, thoughtfulness, selflessness, and kindness to all those he meets. Landon knows without a doubt how short and precious life is and oozes joy and love because of it. It is Candlelighters' honor to present the 2020 Childhood Cancer Sibling Honoree Award to Landon Rex.
The main thing I want my legacy to be is 3 words. I was there. I was there through it all. So, my family consists of my 2 brothers, Joshua and Lane. Joshua's 16 and Lane's 8. And then I have my mom and dad. They're great.
Landon is my sweet one. He's very reserved, cautious, good public speaker. Lane's our wild child, beautiful chaos.
We get into a lot of fights. Usually I start them.
They fight like cats and dogs, but you know, their love is strong.
When Lane was diagnosed, I was with my dad. We took this road, and by this gas station there was this empty lot. And my dad pulled over in there, and he told me Lane had cancer, and we just sat there for about 5 minutes and we just cried.
So much shock, you don't know up from down. He was really, really critical. We didn't realize at the time how critical he was, but like knocking on death's door.
Because my mom was always up in the hospital with my brother, and then my dad always had to go to work. I felt Lane had all the attention and all the love and affection, and I was just a side child.
People don't understand the toll that it takes on the sibling. Parents are working, they're trying to keep sibling alive, and you know, they get left out.
I kind of felt like I was put in a box and taped up.
So I really just feel like Candlelighters is one of the few, if not the only, that cater to the whole family.
They've never forgotten him. They say, hey, does Lane want to come? Like 1 second later, Landon can come too.
Most of the friends I've made have actually been through Candlelighters. I've been to a lot of their events and camps.
They know that there's going to be kids there that know what they've gone through. A lot of adults don't even have friendships like these and connections like these kids have.
Those moments were really special to me because they're like the best memories of my life.
Through all these events and everything, Candlelighters has helped all of us as a family. Knowing now that they loved me during that time and cared for me during that time, it just means something to me.
I think that Landon does, you know, he does value life differently. I think that he knows that life is precious.
When I was feeling bad, I remember him knocking on my door, and I would say, come, and I would be really excited.
I got to see what he was going through, and I got to spend more time with him.
And Landon would come in to wherever we were and pray for him, like pray over him out loud. This was for years that we went through treatment.
I would always pray for him for comfort and no fear.
You know, the most intimate moments that he was a part of.
A couple times I just wanted to give up. And he said, Lane, you're my brother, you're gonna stay here with me. Even though we fight, you're gonna stay here, and I'm gonna whoop your butt, and I'm gonna pin you to the ground every time.
He was just there through everything, just always a constant for Lane. He fought for 1,217 days and rang the bell December 12th, 2018. To still be a part of the Candlelighters family, even though we're almost 2 years out of treatment, I just love them. I love the ladies that work there. I love the families that I've met along the way. I love that my kids have connections with friends.
When you are a Candlelighter, you stay a Candlelighter.
I'm so grateful to have them. I do think it's going to shape my life in the future.
He says he wants to be a pediatric oncologist.
I could be like a mentor or a counselor to the other siblings.
He's very good at helping kids, he helps grown-ups too.
I know how to encourage them because I've gone through it.
My husband and I would have traded Lane every second of his suffering, but we would never change who we became because of it.
Lane was in a critical condition, but thankfully the doctors were there and God was there, and they just walked him down this path, and it was the path to life.
And you were there.
Yeah.
You played your part, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys see Landon? How great is that kid? I love him and I love his family. His brother Lane and my daughter Dylan went through treatment at the same time, and I'm so excited that they're both celebrating being cancer-free together. So that brings me to who I am. My name is Megan Proby, and I am so excited to be able to share a little bit about our story with you tonight. My family personally knows all the wonderful things that Candlelighters does because we were impacted by cancer. When my daughter was 9 years old, Dylan, she was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. I took her to the doctor because she was limping and she had some swelling in her ankle. And I honestly thought she was going to walk away with some crutches. And after multiple tests, they said those words that no parent ever wants to hear. They told me that she had cancer. She was going to endure 14 rounds of chemotherapy and an amputation to save her life. During her treatment, she went through over 50 nights at the hospital, multiple blood transfusions, and countless doctor's visits. And I can tell you that each and every single time we were at the hospital, somebody from Candlelighters was there. Every time. They were either offering us encouraging words, a hug, money for parking assistance, or toys for Dylan and her sister. They don't leave out siblings, which is another reason that they're so amazing. Like I said before, Dylan is now 3 years cancer-free. Yay! And during that whole time, Candlelighters was there for us, but they don't stop there. They don't stop when treatment is over. They support you even after you end that tough part, because cancer doesn't end when treatment is over. It keeps going. And so they have all these fun opportunities for families to do and for kids to do. And one of my favorite things is Camp Cliff. It's a weekend in October when it's the most beautiful in Texas, to go and spend time as a family with other cancer moms and dads and siblings. And it's just a really great time to relax and recharge and visit with other families that know exactly where you've been, because they've walked that same road too. 2020 has thrown quite the monkey wrench in a lot of things, but one thing it hasn't done is slowed Candlelighters down. They keep hosting Zoom parent support meetings. They do fun calls for parents. I got to be a part of a happy hour. Woohoo! And it was wonderful to see the parents that were such familiar faces to me that I couldn't see because we were, in quarantine. And they had also these really great things for kids that you heard about before and their siblings, and all of it is at no cost to a cancer family. And that's because of people like you. That's because you show your support in so many ways. And so as a mom who's been there, as a mom who's benefited from all the support that Candlelighters has given and all the things that they do each and every day, I'm asking you tonight to show your support. They've already talked about the Shining Opportunities card, and this is the opportunity for you to personally help families like mine. If you received a Shining Opportunities card this evening, you can see how a gift in numerous amounts will impact childhood cancer families through Candlelighters programs and services. If you didn't receive a Shining Opportunities donation card, we're going to show you the levels now and invite you to be a part of the impact. So again, I would like to thank Candlelighters, for inviting me to be here tonight to share a little bit of our story. And just to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from a mom who's been there and seen and benefited from all the wonderful things that Candlelighters has done. I thank you for supporting this cause.
Thank you for sharing all of that with us, Megan. And now take a look at this. Dylan there with Lane. Oh, it is oh too cute. Well, we would be honored for you to consider giving at one of these donation levels this evening. Your donation, we've told you before, but I'm going to remind you, will be doubled tonight thanks to Candlelighters Board of Directors. And if you do give $1,000 or more, you will graciously be entered to win a fine dining experience for 6 courtesy of Steak 48. And if you've been there, you know how fabulous it is. So to take 6 people would be oh so much fun. So this is where you need to go. You need to go to give.candle.org/luncheon to make your gift now. And if you'd like to pay by check, you can also reply to this evening's text messages with a picture of your donation card, also the designated amount. We'll make sure your gift is doubled this evening. If you haven't texted yet tonight, here's the phone number again for you. It's 832-621-3300. Our goal is to raise $27,000 tonight through these donations, and we need your help. Like Megan said, from a mom who has been there and from a family who has been deeply impacted by all of the great things Candlelighters does for childhood cancer families. Thank you for supporting this cause. I just can't wait to see what we're able to pull off with all of your help. And it has been so fun to get your pictures. And yes, they're coming in. And we have been able to see you all out on we've seen people on their patios, with your dogs outside, with your TV set up. Great photos from our sponsors, our table sponsors, and you are looking good out there. And it looks like you're having a great time like we are here tonight. And thank you for sharing those. Keep those coming in. We'll make sure that we get them on Candlelighters social media because we want to share what a magical night it is for you as well. Now it's time to hear from our final honoree. This is truly an inspiring story of courage throughout his childhood cancer journey.
My name is Doug Harrison. I am the Center Medical Director for the Children's Cancer Hospital at MD Anderson Cancer Center, and I'm a member and a proud member of the Candlelighters Board. Today is my deep honor to present the 2020 Lights of Courage Childhood Cancer Survivor honoree and introduce to you Addison Marshall. Addison was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia, or ALL, his freshman year of high school after he started to complain about rib pain at football practice. For the next 3 years, Addison underwent numerous rounds of chemotherapy, spinal taps, and blood transfusions, only to have his cancer relapse in his brain and spine, for which he had to undergo even more intensive chemotherapy treatments and then proton beam radiation therapy. Fortunately for Addison, his optimism and zest for life aided him throughout his treatment and kept him from allowing his diagnosis to take hold of his plans, ambitions, and dreams. Throughout treatment, Addison continued to practice with his football team, and he worked with a tutor to ensure that he remained at the top of his class academically. Outside of school, Addison enjoyed partnering with Candlelighters through the many events that they had sponsored, including the golf tournament and the Adopt a Family holiday program. Addison's positive attitude and work ethic made a lasting impression on all of those around him, so much so that he was awarded the 2011 Inspirium High School Football National Rudy Award. This award goes to the most inspirational high school football player in the nation each year. Addison then graduated from high school in the top 10% of his class and was accepted to Texas A&M University, where he continued his love of football and fostered his respect for medicine forged from his own experiences. In 2018, Addison graduated from UT Southwestern with his physician assistant degree and with the love of his life, Natalie. Addison and his now wife, Natalie, moved to San Antonio, where Addison now works as a physician assistant at University Hospital. Addison is so thankful every day for his life's journeys and is grateful to his dedicated team of oncologists, nurses, coaches, teachers, and friends, including Candlelighters, and especially Candlelighters. Because of their support, he is truly able to continue playing until the whistle blows. It is Candlelighters' deep honor to present the 2020 Childhood Cancer Survivor Honoree Award to Addison Marshall.
Addison was diagnosed in 2009, right around Memorial Day, and he had been complaining of rib pain, but he was playing spring football. So of course we took him to the doctor, and nothing prepares you for the white blood cell count, and the doctor saying in a very low voice, "We think he has leukemia."
Getting a cancer diagnosis at that age, you don't really know what it is. You try to Google WebMD, find out what leukemia is. You know, it's always hard to tell, and you're just kind of confused in the beginning, you know, not really knowing what to expect. And then kind of as the days turn into weeks and months, and kind of learn, you know, what you're dealing with, and, you know, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days.
Leukemia for children is 3 years typically. And in my son's case, he relapsed into his brain and spine. So then we had proton radiation.
So whenever I had relapsed, they had given me a 50-50 chance of, you know, kind of death or survival. And so I had gotten 2 roses to kind of symbolize the colors on there. The clock on the back is set to my diagnosis date. So this little deal right here is called, it was the Beads of Courage. The Purple Heart symbolized, you know, once you were cancer-free, had done the 3 years of chemo, radiation, all of that.
Family doesn't know what to say. Friends don't know what to say, and they show up, or people, even people you love, can't be present for you.
One of the biggest things about cancer is it's such an isolating disease. You know, you're angry, you're upset, you're sad, you don't know where to turn, and you think that your experience is completely different than any experience anyone has had, and it's not. I mean, everyone feels the pain, the isolation.
Cancer is so isolating if you choose it, and even if you don't choose it, it can just be so tough.
So Candlelighters, I don't remember specifically how we met. I just remember one day I was in the hospital getting chemo or something, and they came by, kind of introduced themselves, and they really kind of made you feel like you were part of a group and that you weren't alone.
You know, Candlelighters was one of the first friendships, hospital friendships, that with our parent consultant, and she was a lifeline.
Oh, I mean, the emotional impact and kind of support that you get from just being surrounded by people who have gone through the same thing is, you know, you can't put into words how great it is. You know, one thing is everyone always wants to help so much, and you know, sometimes whenever you're sick and you're on chemo, you just don't want people to keep coming over and you know, having to feel like, you know, they're helping you, and you feel bad because you want to thank them, but you just feel so bad and you want to throw up. And to have people that have gone through it, they understand that, and they can sit by your side and they don't have to say anything.
It was just a gift that's, I'll get emotional, but the gift that just keeps on giving. And you think everyone should have that experience. If you're going to go through hell, you need some best friends holding your hands.
So just to feel like you have a friend. I mean, it's like being at a new school and having no one to sit with at lunch, and then someone comes up and gives you a spot. And they were just always so nice and would always come by, and just kind of a familiar face to look forward to seeing.
You know, they were there not just for us. They were there for everyone, and no one was excluded. And I think that was the absolute beauty of that type of, I keep saying friendship, but it really was.
Oh, I mean, Candlelighters, so some of the small things that they did that would just make things feel so much better, you know, it's always the small things. But they would, you know, validate our parking every time we were there. And it doesn't sound like a big thing, but it was just feeling like you have someone that's on your team that's always looking out for you. They would always come by and talk to us, make our day feel better. And I remember the first Christmas that I was diagnosed, they came over with just this huge, you know, bucket of presents and it was right whenever I had just lost my hair. I was feeling, you know, just terrible about myself. I was all swollen from the steroids. And it meant the world. You know, they just came over, and, you know, it's not very common that people just do things for you out of the goodness of their soul.
And it wasn't just helping with parking. It wasn't the Christmas gifts for our whole family. It was that sense of community through the 3 years that we were there.
You know, it seems like there's always some ulterior motive to whatever people are doing. And this, you know, Candlelighters is not that. They came over and just wanted to, you know, let me know that they were thinking about me and that they were supporting me. And they just have a weird way of always coming in at just the right moment to, make your day better and to remind you that they care. Went to A&M for college, spent 4 years over there with kinesiology and exercise science. Ended up going to PA school, and then ended up meeting my wife in PA school, and we moved down to San Antonio because we love the trails, the nature, cheap cost of living, good medical center. And I was in cardiology, and now I'm in interventional radiology, and just enjoying life.
There's really not enough words in the English language to describe the unconditional love that I have for Candlelighters and what they do to families, and to know we have been out of the village, so to speak, for 7 years. But to know that at any given time you can pick up the phone and talk to them, because just because you get out of treatment doesn't mean you don't stop worrying. You don't remember many things that you're told in the beginning because you're in shock, but you do remember the people that show up.
Wow, what amazing stories. I am so glad we were able to hear from each honoree directly this year. I hope that seeing their stories come to life has given you some insight as to how childhood cancer really affects the whole family as a unit, and just how important Candlelighters is. To have someone who has been through it before and who can talk to you about what you're going to go through and look at the other side, as Melissa said so eloquently earlier, is crucial for these families. If you haven't made a Shining Opportunities donation yet this evening, now is the time. Let's see where we are towards our goal of $27,000. But before we do that, I just want to thank some big donations that came in just a few minutes ago. Christy Jennings, Robin Clays, Marianne Ingersoll, and Shannon Sturgis. Thank you so much. Thank you. It means so much to us. We appreciate all of you.
All right, you see it yourself. We have a couple thousand to go, but we want to go way beyond that goal. We're at $25,000 tonight, which is incredible that we are so close to that goal, but we want to get there, and you have the chance to help make that happen. Remember, we want to supersede that goal. We want to go all the way to the top. So this is how you do that. give.candle.org/luncheon to make that donation. It's going to impact families. It's going to make such a difference in their lives. Each year, these stories are so touching, but Jenna was so right. Seeing them firsthand this year really made a big difference for us to truly understand what they've been through. All right, Jenna, and all of you guests out there, are you ready? It's time to find out. We've got them. The raffle is in. So let's find out what's going on with our Lights of Courage raffle. Here we go for super raffle number 1. This is the trip to Spain with airfare. I feel like we need a drum roll or something, right? I want to say thank you to Stephanie and Mark. They are our incredible hosts tonight at this beautiful home where we are for this generous donation. The winner is Robin Bosch. Congratulations, Robin. Pack your bags. You're going to Spain.
I am so jealous. I never win this.
Please have some paella for me.
Okay, super raffle number 2. 1 week in beautiful San Miguel, Mexico. Thank you to Lisa and Mike O'Leary for this incredible donation. The winner is, I think she's sitting right across the pool from us, Joy Neely. Awesome.
Wow, congrats. That's pretty neat that she's right there. How fun. Super raffle number 3 is stay at the Four Seasons in Costa Rica. Hey, you're going to get a massage and golf while you're there. The winner is John Michael Calhoun. Congratulations.
Super raffle number 4, luxurious stay in an oceanfront room in Hawaii. Molly Barr.
Congrats. Nice. All right, number 5, breathtaking Caribbean getaway in Belize. Pack your bags. Michael O'Leary, you're the winner.
These are amazing. Super raffle number 6, a weekend stay at the #1 luxury resort in Los Cabos, Mexico. One and only Palmilla. The winner is Tina Technic. Sorry. So you still get to get a combo. Woo!
Sounds nice. Super raffle number 7, Mountain Retreat at the gorgeous Montage Resort in Deer Valley, Utah. Nick Palacios, you are heading that way. Congratulations.
Right. Super raffle number 8, a golfer's dream experience at one of the top golf courses in the world, Prairie Dunes Country Club in Kansas. Thank you to the Calderwoods for this amazing donation. The winner is Debbie Dunlap. All right.
Woo-hoo! Number 8, a week in this gorgeous Galveston Bay vacation home. Thank you to Jessica and Rob Chisholm for the generous donation. And the winner is Joanne Levine. It could be Levine or Levine. But Joanne, congrats.
Number 10, a week at Blue Snapper Cabin in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to Samantha and Edward Edson for this donation. The winner is Lynn Onken. Hopefully I'm saying that right. O-N-K-E-N. You know who you are.
All right. Number 11 is a trip of your choice. So you get to choose 7 nights anywhere at 4,200 RCI resorts. How incredible is that? This winner is Chris Valek or Valley. I can tell if it's Chris Valley.
Is on our Candlelighters board.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Relaxed and refreshed. This package is with $1,000, oh my gosh, to Milk and Honey. Fabulous spa. Robert Vespa. Yay.
Nice. Hey, why don't you pamper me pretty, baby? Doesn't that sound nice? Ooh, just sport party for 5 with Dr. Roth goes to Donna Malo. Congratulations, Donna.
The beautiful David Yerman diamond ring donated by Lewis Jewelers. Thank you. The winner is Andrew Duba. Yay, congratulations.
And the Dine and Unwind, which included $1,000 to Eddie V's, goes to Jack Malo. Congratulations, Jack. That family's, they've got it going on.
I mean, thank you for buying raffle tickets. All right, Precious Play and Party Time. This is the package with that crazy, adorable playhouse. Melanie Newell. Oh, Lynn likes that. Lynn likes that one.
She is fired up about that. Hey, how about this? The autographed Houston Texans J.J. Watt helmet goes to the one, the only, my hero, Dr. Zoe Dreyer.
Yes, she gets standing ovation. These boots were made for river walking, custom cowboy boots from Al's Handmade Boots and a stay in San Antonio. The winner is Lori Watler.
Right now, this one is full of local hotel stays and gift cards to delicious local restaurants. Get ready. Han Wright, congratulations.
Right. Tito's and tea time. Sounds fun. Golf for 4 at Black Horse Golf Club and some awesome Tito's vodka golf swag. The winner is Donna Cook. Nice.
Incredible. We only have a few to go, so here we go. Shop till you drop. Gift cards and items from Tootsie's, Cotton Club Collection, Abejas Boutique, and more. The winner is Christy Jennings.
Awesome, Christy. Stock the Bar package. You'll be swimming in wines and spirits. Sarah Bennett is our winner. Awesome.
And our last but far from least for the home package, including a gorgeous custom limestone table by Siteworks. Thank you to board member Alex Newton for this generous donation. And our final winner in the raffle is Carla Butler. Congratulations.
Yay. Awesome to all of our winners. How exciting. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for buying raffle tickets and supporting Candlelighters. You will receive an email in the next couple of days with more information on how to pick up your trip certificates and raffle prizes. You can see the helmet that Dr. Dreyer will be taking home right here in front of me. So be on the lookout for that email. Thank you again to our amazing event chairs, Beth Gwynn and Danielle Ryan, for all their work, and all of our generous donors for making this year's raffle so great. We truly appreciate it. We would also like to thank the Lights of Courage Host Committee, the Candlelighters Advisory Board, the Candlelighters Board of Directors for their support in making this event such a success in light of all the obstacles that all of us are dealing with right now.
And while you've joined us live tonight, we want to make sure you know that this program is recorded. It will be available to watch past this evening. So please feel free to share the link with friends and family and continue to help Candlelighters raise much needed awareness and funds for the childhood cancer community. Now, if you don't already follow Candlelighters on Facebook, hey, you're missing out. So this is the easiest way to stay up to date on all the meaningful ways they support childhood cancer families. So I highly encourage you to check out Candlelighters Houston. Just go like their page on Facebook. I promise you, you won't regret it. We mentioned earlier tonight about Candlelighters Holiday Adopt a Family program. Candlelighters is still looking for sponsors to help provide much needed joy to childhood cancer families this holiday season. So to get involved, please email the Adopt a Family Director, that's Carly. You can send that email to cbradshaw@candle.org.
That is one of the most rewarding programs too. My boys and I do it every year, and it's awesome for the Candlelighters families, but it's also just hugely rewarding for you. So please think about doing that. Don't forget to mail in your Shining Opportunities donation if you chose to give by check this evening. If you received a Shining Opportunities donation card, you should have also received a postage paid envelope to send your gift to the Candlelighters office. If you need their address to send in a donation and you don't have that envelope, you can send to Candlelighters, 12919 Southwest Freeway, Suite 100, Stafford, Texas, 77477. I also want to thank from the bottom of my heart all the board members and all of us here, I know, the Candlelighters staff for working tirelessly, not just on this virtual event, but throughout this insane year to continue providing the much needed support to childhood cancer families in every possible way. Cancer doesn't stop, even during a pandemic. It just makes everything harder, right? So we really appreciate you guys. Our parent consultants, Janie, Linda, Yuvi, and Maria, our family development coordinator, Opal, and our development and program staff, Gay, Lynn, Kelsey, Carly, and Sydney. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And again, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. What a beautiful night it's been. It's been great to feel all of you out there knowing we're in this together. We're learning about each other. We're donating. We're joining Candlelighters in this beautiful way because this organization is with families going through cancer every step of the way. We appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. Keep those donations coming in. Just because we are about to end doesn't mean the donations have to stop. We hope to see you soon. Take care.